Momco Podcast, Mom Guilt Doesn't Clock Out, Episode 11, Take 2.
Pretty bad. We're already on take 2.
It's fine. Hello, everybody.
Fine.
It's fine. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Momco Podcast, makers, owners, mothers. I'm Jessica, and
I'm Anna.
we are Hot Mess Express today because we are coming off of a craft fair weekend, and I may or may not have drug Anna to a craft fair last minute. It's fine. So if you're new to this, we talk about all things motherhood and all things small business. And we first start off with mom wins, then go into daddy delights, then go into the nobody told me topic of motherhood. And then we do a small business deep dive. So Anna, what's your mommy win this week?
My mommy win. My mommy win was actually like a business win and a mommy win, and it's all daddy delight at the same time, and you know exactly what it is. Okay, so let me paint you a picture, guys. So it's like Friday night. I'm chilling, right? I'm chilling. 6:45. Husband's gonna go to Skyfest with friends the next day. I'm gonna chill with the baby. Everything's good. My phone's over on the couch, and then my husband gets this frantic phone call, David, and it's his wife. Where's Anna? She's not answering her phone. What's going on? I'm like, oh God, what the fuck is wrong? Like, I'm thinking somebody died or something, right?
My sanity?
She's like, yeah, pretty much. And so it turns out she's like, hey, Shannon at Farm Chicks, and you can get in. I already talked to the coordinator, and it's a double booth, and they'll give you half off, and you should do it, and I'll come over and I'll help you. And I've already talked to your mom. She's gonna babysit the baby, and you should do it. So what do you say? I'm like,
Your first
no.
answer is no. Yeah.
I'm like, no, I committed to him going to Skyfest. I've committed to this thing. No, I can't be nerdy. I can't do this. No, I have a 4-month-old baby. I can't just go. And she's like, yes, you can. It'll be fine. And she's like, it's fine. I was like, no. I was like, give me like a 10 minutes to think about. Give me some time to think about this. Well, you'll have to decide by 7 o'clock because that's when they close. I'm like,
You're like, give me 15 minutes. I'm like, I will counter offer 10.
all that aside, I was like, okay. And I committed to it. And then for the next hour and a half, I was in this like frantic mode of packing my things, getting everything together, and crying, and also going, I can't do this. What am I doing? I have a baby. I can't do this. Anyway, long story short, we did it.
Yeah, we did.
7:30 in the morning. You were there with your helpers, with your sister and her friend, and everybody pulled together, and it was a great spot, and it was a great weekend, and I ended up making a
Great
bunch of money.
spot.
It was fucking great. And the daddy delight was then, so he stayed home on Sunday, took care of Lily, so I could do this, and also he was also on the like team do it section. So he was like, you got this, you can do it, don't worry about it. We've got everything taken care of. Your mom will watch her on Saturday, so I can still do my thing. It's a win-win-win because she wants to spend time with the baby. I want to go to Skyfest. You want to do the Farm Chicks. Everybody's winning here. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. So I did my first show without baby, my first real show by myself, like since having baby. And Dad did great with her on Sunday. Of course, her Uncle David came over and hung out, and so did Big D. And so it was great. But you're fucking crazy still.
Yeah, I am. And to preference this for listeners who don't know our area, Farm Chicks is one of the bigger markets in our area, and it's been one of my favorite ones since I was like in high school. And it was their last one ever. The gal who runs it just decided to just retire early. And when I heard this opportunity, there was like some vendor drama, which we'll have to have an episode once too about vendor drama because it's its own reality show. And when I heard that there's like a double space, I was like, I know someone who can fill it. And I know someone who's not really doing much this weekend. And so I just booked my butt to the front and said, hey,
Yeah.
this is crazy. Don't know what's going on, or if you have a fill, or if you have a wait list. But if you don't have anybody, I know someone. They're like, oh my God, really? And I was like, oh my God, you don't have a wait list. This is meant to be. So first off, I called Anna. Then I called Anna's mom. Anna's mom answers before Anna. Thanks, Maria. And then I called Casey. So it was fun. It was crazy. Would I always do it? That to you? I would like to say no, but probably yes.
Probably.
If I knew,
I'm more worried like
that's the thing is, I know it's high traffic event. I know it's a well advertised event, and I wouldn't have bothered you if it was, like, someone, like, one that happens twice a year, or it was the last one, that's why I made you do it.
It was great, and that's the thing too, is I kept telling you, I was like, "Thanks for pushing me outside of my comfy zone and forcing me to
Same
do
here
some" well,
for
not force, but pushing me to do something that I'm totally able to do and just need to have the confidence to do too. That was fun though. It was really fun, and I couldn't believe it. I was just, like, baffled at the amount of people, the amount of sales,
I was baffled at the
everybody's booth.
spot you got, because when they showed me the spot, I was like, "Oh, like, that's a good spot."
Yeah, no shit. It was a great spot. Although I don't think that there's a bad spot in that place.
No, it's one of those ones everybody wants to explore, and people come back because it's a two-day event to see if they
Yeah.
missed anything. Perfect.
Warren? Take 5. Alright, so Mommy Win and Daddy Delight for you. Let's hear it.
Me win, other than getting my bestie to go to my favorite show, was surviving Dana Marie's first tooth, not
Yeah.
extraction, but erection,
I
either
forgot
way.
about that.
And I am very proud how I handled it because I felt like I was very calm, cool, and collected for being as internally panicked as I was. And to give preference to that, probably Thursday night, she was waking up so frequently to the point it felt like cluster feeding days again. And we were just so
Mm.
freaking hot, like so hot to the touch that it felt like I was touching the stove. And when I
Oh
took her
my
internal
god.
temperature, she was 97 degrees. So I was like, well, it's not a cold, it's not a fever. She's just really hot. So I'm like thinking back to when we went to Hawaii and she had her sleep sack on and it was just too hot. So I stripped her down to her diaper. And no matter what we did, like she could not get cold. Like she was generating that heat herself. And so I'm thinking she has a cold. So I stayed up from like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. just watching her doing the whole like, are we going to go to the ER? Do I wake up David? Do I let him sleep type deal? And it wasn't really until like midway through the day, I had my sister with me. I was working from home and I was putting her down and she's super fussy. And I was like, oh my God, you are freaking teething. You're teething again. And I'm like, but this is the worst like teething we've ever had. And then lo and behold, we looked when with my dad and she got a tooth. And let me tell you, tears of joy because it's like that relief you feel like when you first off figure out diagnose the problem from a human that can't talk to you or tell you what's wrong. Best feeling ever. Also discovering she had her first tooth like at my dad's house was kind of very sweet too because my dad was just like, oh, and I was like,
You got it
she's been
too?
a raging bitch. Don't be so teary-eyed. But it was very sweet. So it was a very sweet moment to figure out all in one day what was going on and actually have a reward of a tooth popping out because we've been teething so many times and just no tooth comes out. And I've been told
You go
once the
up.
tooth surfaces, it's all uphill. But usually I learned today from a coworker, if a tooth pops up, the next one comes in pretty fast too. So we're going through this process again. It's really fun. So that's my mom win is just surviving and yeah, figuring out life and figuring out what the solution is. So that's my mom win. And my dad delight. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a really rough week with the daddy because he's a little sassy pants. But I'm trying to find the little delights in my baby daddy.
You can always do a past delight too. It doesn't have to be from this week.
That's so true. I would say currently, though, the consistency of him taking ownership in our yard, because that's one thing I've like sat down and would think of. I'm like, if I lived alone and had a child, you bet your butt I would not even look at the yard, care about the yard, water the grass, mow the grass. I'd be living in like a forest because I just don't
You're
care.
like, "I don't care."
So the fact that he does take pride in the yard and actually cares about what our house looks like on the outside is one less stress I have to think about. So I do appreciate that for him. Do I also think sometimes it's an escape from the asylum that is our home? Yes. But is it also
Well,
helpful? I guess. So that's my daddy delight. Okay, let's dive into the big topic today, shall we?
yeah. So, nobody told me topic. So, like, how mom guilt never fucking clocks out. Ever.
Yeah. And I would say it is probably pre-birth even, that it starts to trickle
Oh my
in. I'm
god.
like,
No, it starts the second you get pregnant because then you're
yeah,
like, if you do something or do something or whatever, then you're like, oh my god, I'm a terrible mother and I'm not even a mother.
yeah, yeah. It's like, "Oh, am I eating the right thing? I need to look at this
Yes.
because, like, can I take this medication? No. Basically, can I go outside and walk in 100-degree weather? No." Like, all the
Well,
things.
make make sure you go and you walk and you're getting exercise, but don't too much exercise because you need to rest because you're pregnant,
Yes,
but
there's
don't
so
rest too
many
much.
contradicting things when you're pregnant too. But yeah, I would say the moment that baby is born too, the guilt kicks in because the nurses are asking you questions like, "Do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that?" I'm like, "No, no, no. That's why I'm here.
Oh, am I supposed
Teach
to?
me."
Did I not do my research?
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but the moment we took her home, I couldn't even tell you that I couldn't sleep because I was like, "Okay, if I sleep, then something bad's gonna happen, or if I take a moment to fill my cup, then she's going to freak out." It was just like from the
Yeah.
beginning, I felt like there's a point after birth that I felt like I could not move. My sole purpose was to exist for this child because the guilt just weighed so much on me that if I did not look at her, I was doing something wrong. That's how it played in my brain.
No, I agree. I agree completely. I told you I've talked about it before on the podcast, and you were witness to it too, where it was like we were both trying to stay up and both trying to be with her, so that it was like somebody was with her all the time because if we're not, something bad's gonna happen. And it was like drilled into your head that that's what it was, but that's so far from the truth. So far from
Mhm,
the truth.
mhm.
And but you feel guilty about everything, and even now, like, I told you I don't even know how many times I told you Friday night into Saturday morning how guilty I felt about leaving her this weekend,
It took a
even
lot
though
of convincing, even my husband
it
had
took a lot
to
of
get on the
convincing.
phone with Anna, and she was a
Yeah,
little sniffly, and he's like, "You're a good
yeah,
mom. You're not doing anything
yeah.
bad. Casey's allowed to be a dad." I felt for you so much in that moment. I think that's such a good example of mom guilt at its core because I was sympathize with you. I'm only 3 months, well, not 3 months. I'm only 6 months ahead, but
Yeah.
it's still like, I feel like I'm that type of person that, like, "Get me the fuck out of Dodge, like, get me out of this house, I've been with her all day." But you're still in that mode of, like, "I don't wanna miss anything," and I felt
Yeah.
for you.
It was fine, and she did great, and she had a great day with grandma, she had a great day with daddy, she did great, everybody did great, everybody won,
It
everybody
was
was
Oprah
happy.
day for you.
It
You
was
get
a
a good day.
great
You get a good day.
yeah, you get a good day, dude. It really was, but at the same time, there was still an overwhelming amount of guilt for leaving her, and it's
Mhm,
like, I almost think to some degree, it's just, like, kind of instilled in our brains in that both nature versus nurture, because I think naturally, as mothers, we tend to feel that way, but then I also think that our environments and, like, social media, going back to how toxic social media can be, is like that too. I'm glad I did it. I think it was good for me. It's probably good for her, but you know
mhm.
what? I spent all day yesterday cuddling that baby because I hadn't seen her all weekend, and that's fine. And that was great.
Also, I think with that too, when you just get that
Mhm.
time away, you get the opportunity to miss your child, and I feel it is a very fortunate unfortunate situation, it's like 2 sides of the coin. When I went back to work, yes, I was sad, yes, I missed her a lot, but also allowed me that autonomy, and then when I was able to
Yes.
come to her, I was that much more present, and I was less, I feel, resentful because I got towards the end of my maternity
You
leave, I
got a
was kinda
break.
resentful. I got a break, and that's all I really want. It's just like, I love my baby, and I would love to be here all the time, but mama needs a break too. They get naps. I just want the occasional day to work in peace.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Well, and then with Casey going back to work too, it's like full-time mom mode, right? It's like yesterday and today even, it's like I didn't get a shower until like 2 o'clock this afternoon. I didn't get a shower yesterday. It just was nonstop doing stuff for her, which was fine, and that's just part of it. But it's like, I would like a break, please. Thank you. I had a taste of a break and now I need one. But it also provided, I think, a lot of confidence. We didn't need it. I had no doubts about Casey. He is very, 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 very capable. Very capable.
Yeah.
But it also is just, I think, gave us both, like, that self-confidence boost, that it gave him a boost of, "I can do this on my own. I can do the dad thing,"
Mhm.
and it gave me a self-confidence boost, not for him, but I can go to an event and not feel bad, and she'll be fine. I
Mhm.
can do those things for him. So, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still the guilt was still there.
The guilt is always gonna be there, and I think between work life, even home life, you can still feel guilty being in another room. Your family life, like, bless my sister-in-law, I love her dearly, but she can make me feel guilty. My mother-in-law can do the same. My dad has even made me feel guilty, like, "Have you thought
Really?
of this?" Yeah. "Have you thought of that?" Or, like, "Why are we doing this?" Like, that instant like, when somebody questions your parenting, that guilt literally, like,
Yeah.
if figure like, that what is that thermometer for, like, how many cookies you
Uh,
sold at Girl Scouts? That's how I feel, it's like that.
yeah. It just
So
keeps going, 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 builds.
yeah, because instantly I feel, in a way, attacked, but I know that's not their
Mhm.
intention, it's just a genuine question, but that guilt automatically, like, the mama bear mode is like, "I didn't do anything, it's fine, everything's fine, she's still alive." So,
Yep, yep, yep.
I don't think you'll
And I was just
ever
gonna
escape it.
And I was just gonna say too, like, I'm glad you said something about, like, the intention, and I think it also kind of makes us aware too when we're talking to, like, at least made me aware when I was, like, talking to a new mom, to be careful about the things that you say because it's like, well, that might come off, like, really, inconsiderate or might make her feel bad, and I don't wanna do that. And one of the things I was actually talking to one of our mutual friend, Ariana, and she was
Yeah.
saying like her son was at Farm Chicks and her husband was holding him and he leaped out to give me a hug and he's adorable. But she's like, I said, that made my day. That made my day. I've been missing my baby all weekend and that made my day. And she was like, it's okay and it's good to miss them or something along those lines. And I just like saw that and I'm like, you're right. You are so
Mhm.
right. It is. It is. And then I came like the first thing I did, came home, dumped my stuff, and went to my baby.
Yeah, because I think the whole "it's okay to miss your baby" kind of just reinstills not only your intentions and your love for that child, but also reinstills like, "Hey, you were a person before this baby happened, and, like, it's okay to keep living life." And yes, your baby you do revolve around your baby a lot more, but also that baby can be incorporated into your life. And battling that guilt with it, though, is a different mindset as well. It's not an easy road. It's a hard road because I feel no matter what, you will always be faced with that guilt. And I'm sure husbands and fathers feel that way too, but it's a whole other level for, I feel, the mom because
It's
you're the one
it's different.
feeding the baby and birthing the baby. You're in that hormonal imbalance because your body and your mind are always constantly at odds because of this human life you created.
Yeah, and I think that it comes down to biology, like you just said, to some degree. It's just biology on the mothers versus fathers. But what's that saying? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think that is exactly how I felt.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, like, yes, for me, because 'cause I'm a little bit ahead of you, it was it was hard. I was struggling, and I think I struggled finding my identity too, so as soon as I got my routine back, which is having my job and everything like that, it was kind of a breath of fresh air, but then once I settled into that routine, I did have that longing and missing of my child, like, "Oh my gosh, should I quit my job? Should I be a stay-at-home mom so I don't miss a thing?" But I'm like, in today's like economy and society, we can't afford to do that. Like, I would love to be able to say my small business is strong enough to survive on its own. Right now, at this point, it is not. But battling that anxious feeling of guilt, like the steps would take is first off, where's my baby right now? Okay, she's with grandma or she's with her auntie. She is being loved and cared for no matter what, where she is at. And whether it's daycare or anybody like you trust, I think that guilt like lessens a little bit because I'm like, you selected that place on purpose. You selected the people that your baby is around on purpose. So you've took care of like the needs of the baby needing to be cared for. And then it's just like that guilt too of like, am I doing the right thing for my child while I'm away from my child? I think that's a question you kind of have to answer for yourself and play by ear because for me, I'm like, I am where I'm at and my baby is where I'm at because I need to make money to provide for my baby to be available and create more moments and memories with my child. So that's how I was able to kind of balance at least the work guilt, not the day to day guilt, but at least being away from my child. And that's kind of what I dreamed of too, to be a working mom. And the fact that I'm able to fulfill one of my dreams is great. But also there's that sense of guilt too for me of, well, I wish I could stay home. I wish I could be a stay at home mom. But I feel like that's gonna hit no matter what. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, there's also that guilt of, "I wish I can provide more, do more," things like that too. So it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day. There's guilt no matter what, but it's just how you manage
There
it and
is.
how you, I don't know, like, talk to your inner self about it too.
Well, because I am a stay-at-home mom. So,
Yeah, lucky in a way, but
well,
also it's really
I mean,
fucking
okay, so yeah,
hard.
it's like full-time stay-at-home mom, part-time business owner at this point, which is fine. So the guilt too can be reversed.
Mhm.
I spent all day today and all day yesterday with my baby. Didn't get a damn thing done for an event that I have in like 4 days. So to transition into our small business topic, that it can go, it can flip and it can go either way. So it's like I don't have time for my business anymore because I'm a full-time mom now. Full-time
Yeah,
mom. I'm a stay-at-home full-time mom. And all of the money that I make is just extra money, to help pay off the car and help, pay for vacations if we do stuff like that, which is fabulous and great. But there's also the guilt of like, well, I'm not working, so I can't make money. But it's also that guilt, right? And it doesn't make sense because
1,000.
it's like sitting here, right? It was yesterday, sitting there, my baby's asleep in my arms, cuddling, it's great. And that guilt starts to eat away of like, hey, you have an event on Saturday. Why haven't you done it? You need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. Also, you need to do laundry and you still need to wash your pump parts and the dishes aren't done. Oh, and what are you gonna have for dinner? And it's like all of the house stuff, but then it's all the business stuff too.
Yes,
And it's just
thank you
it's
for saying
so
that because it's literally
um,
3 sections of your brain. It's like
it's
baby, home.
separate things. Yes. And baby and home are not the same thing because I can't clean the toilet
No.
while I'm holding the baby. So
Scream that louder so the men can hear.
I can't clean the toilet and hold the baby at the same time.
You could, it's just really disgusting.
Really disgusting. But no, I think yeah, the whole stay-at-home mom thing, it's hard. We don't give stay-at-home I had a stay-at-home mom, and we don't give them enough credit. We don't give them enough
No.
credit, and I I realize that too, where it's like I gave my mom a lot of credit for being a stay-at-home mom, but once you become one, then you're like, "Oh, fuck."
I'm like, how the fuck did you stay with them all day, every day, and not lose your mind? And for me, my
Yeah,
mother-in-law is a wonderful example of that too, because she raised 2 amazing kids, stay at home, and had sanity. And she's like, you know what? You just got to do it. And she's like, you got to find your group. You got to find your other mommy friends, people you can relate to. Because she's like, she didn't have her family there either. So she's like, you just got to do it. So shout out to you stay-at-home moms because it like, when I had a taste of it on maternity leave, I was like, "Bless the ground you walk on," because the fact that you still love your child at the end of the day
yeah.
is a
Yeah, start
win.
kissing the ground after I walk by, do it.
Yeah,
Start kissing that ground I walk by, just uh,
because
no,
I
I
love
get it.
my breaks. I like my routine of being able to leave the house and be able to do something that's not related to my home life. So the fact that you guys maintain the house, maintain the home life while raising a human, shout out. Shout out.
It's not my and I think the biggest thing so, like, number 1, when my mom was raising kids, it was, like, the '80s and the '90s, and, uh, I feel like the dad dynamic wasn't what it is today, right? Like, our husbands are very involved. They're very involved in taking care and raising our daughters, which is wonderful. It wasn't as big now, like, or then as it is now, right? So, like, I think
Yeah.
dads are way more involved now.
I
Or
would say
maybe
it's
we
on
just
the
got, like,
cusp though,
I don't
80s or
but
90s dads. They were trying to figure out a way. They paved the path for fathers today because also had to deal with like their dads being in like the 40s, 50s, and 60s. The dynamic of household in those 3 decades was you are a wife, you are a husband, you take care of the babies, you make the job. In this modern day and economy, you can't freaking do that. You can't.
yeah. My parents were also really far apart in age, and so they were actually, like, kind of raised by 2 different generations. So that made it
Yeah.
really like, my grandparents who coming from, like, Italy post World War II as well, it was even further back, like, it was more like Great Depression for them,
Yeah.
right? My mom's parents, that was, like, 50s and 60s, right? But she was a stay-at-home mom, and she didn't have a support network like I have or like you have. She didn't have grandparents that were eager to watch the children. She didn't have the support, and I'm like, "How the fuck did you do it?" And she pretty much
Yeah.
the same thing where it's like, "You just did what you had to do. I wanted to have my kids, so I poured myself into kids. That's what I did. It's just what you did."
Yeah, Jennifer had no family near her, and I'm like, "How did you do this without family support?" And she's like, "It was so lonely." She struggled with postpartum depression before it even was a thing, like, she didn't know what she
Yeah.
had. She was just diagnosed with depression, and she's like, "I felt so resentful towards my, like, babies that were beautiful," and she's like, "It wasn't until she found, like, her mom co-op group through, like, a community college that she felt autonomy and she found people to relate to," and I'm like, you are so strong to even put yourself out there postpartum to make friends with a newborn. Because 'cause I'm like, first off, making
Yeah.
an adult friend, really fucking hard.
Oh god.
Making an adult
Really
friend with
hard.
similar interests, really fucking hard. Making an adult friend with
Mhm.
similar interests and has children like you, triple the fucking hardness. Like, and he did
How
it
did we
without
end up
Google. I'm like, they parented without Google. How do you do that?
fortunate and lucky to have you? Because 'cause I'm like, I don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing if I didn't have you to
Same back
validate
at you,
everything.
girlfriend.
It's like we got common interests, our husbands get along, we're both small business owners. Oh, and our babies are 6 months apart.
Yeah, we're living the dream.
We're living the dream.
God's
I
just like,
appreciate
"Here
you.
you go, you're gonna need this. Here's Anna."
She's nuts. Here you go. Here's Jessica. You need a little crazy and spice in your life.
Yep.
Yeah, the guilt of the business, and it's just it comes down to, like I think to some degree we have to be okay with feeling guilty because I
I
don't know
think
what else and it's
I
not as
think
easy as just don't feel guilty.
yeah, well, yeah, don't feel guilty is like the stupidest sentence to ever hear, but also make your life like a recipe, like add a little dash of guilt. But that's just how the recipe calls for, because you're like, what the fuck? Why do I need a pinch of salt and cookies? But it just makes it come together. But going back to what we were discussing of neglecting the business, I'll go back to when I first had Danny, I was still doing shows, honestly. I painted up until the point I gave birth, and then I didn't
Girl,
paint.
we were at Arborcrest, like, 3 days after you gave birth. Don't
Yeah.
give me this, "It was up till I get" no, bitch, it was, like, 2 days after you gave birth.
Yeah, 2 days
You're in a
after,
fucking diaper.
my sisters did a show, and after that, honestly, whatever happened at Arborcrest, I didn't give a fuck, and my sales were not the best at Arborcrest, but just I didn't care. And then moving forward, my next show probably wasn't until November. I did all my staples, but after that, the true neglect didn't happen until the winter time, and for our area with shows, basically January until, like, beginning of March, dead season, like, no one's doing anything. And I especially didn't do anything. And during that time, usually I prepare, get all my shows lined up for the year, at least have a basic idea, get kind of my
Same.
designs and my concepts ready to go. So at least I can paint something, if not painting right then and there to just get it ready to go, like my staples. I did absolutely none of that. And once I got to probably the first show, I think was Central Valley, I had nothing. And that wasn't
I remember
till like did not hit me till TV that, oh damn, I done fucked up AA Ron. My small business was straight up neglected. Cause I wasn't answering emails. I wasn't answering inquiries. I wasn't posting to social media. And when you literally let your business do that and die, it shows. It shows so much because, again, like we said, you are the only one that's going to show up for your business. And if you're not showing up, you don't make money. And with that said, too, when you're an established business, you are still paying for your small business taxes every quarter. You're still paying for your business license. You're still paying for all the services to promote your stuff, like your website and things like that. So you're essentially bleeding money without making money. So that was my big wake up call, was coming out of postpartum depression and the show saying, I done fucked up.
I don't know if it's so much that you done fucked up as it was just, like, a lesson that was learned, but also, like,
Yeah.
there is this thing, though, where you have to give yourself grace because during that time, I
Yes.
didn't do shit either because I was 8 months
You
pregnant, had a
and
baby,
gave
and
birth.
postpartum. Right. Still, I remember, like, it was the Shale Craft Fair this year, and I wasn't going, my mom was gonna do it, and then I had a couple of, like, employees that did it for me, which was fabulous, but I just remember being like, them being like, "Oh, do we have any more of this? Do we have" I'm like, "I don't know. We don't have any more." Even last weekend at Farm Chicks, there was a lot where I was like, "We don't have any
Yeah.
more of the" You noticed that too, because you were helping me load errands out, and you're
Yeah.
like, "This is really, like"
And
low. I
Anna
don't
is
know what you said
so
exactly.
good with her stock, so it's really, like, astonishing when you see, like, in her system something super low, and if she doesn't say, "Oh, I'm making that right now," and she's like, "Oh, fuck," that's when you're like, "Oh, shit."
We have to remember to give ourselves grace. And just listening to what you were saying, it's like it's so nice to hear the same things that I'm feeling from you because when I'm telling myself that, I don't tell myself to give myself grace and that it's okay, but
I
I can
don't
tell
tell
other
myself
people.
either. You
Right.
reminding me
Well,
that
but if
too
you hear it
helps.
yeah, you gotta get validation from the other person to some degree, because to you, I heard everything you were saying, and I'm like, "That's exactly right. You're still paying for these services, you're not utilizing them, blah, blah, blah. All this is
You're
happening, you're still
hemorrhaging
bleeding
money
money."
at the end of the day.
And all I can think is, "Oh my god, Jess, you had a baby. Give yourself some grace. It's
I
okay."
know.
And then I turn around and I say the same things to myself, but I leave out the, "Oh my god, you just had a baby. Give yourself grace" part.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like I do that for you, like, you just had a baby, it's okay, like, especially if you were to say no to farm
You
chicks last
do.
weekend, I wouldn't have, like, had been upset for you, I would have totally
I
1000%
know.
understand it, but I was like, the fact that you fucking said yes was a miracle to me because I was like, "She's gonna say no."
I asked myself, WWJD. What would Jessica
Jesus!
do? No, what would Jessica do? And then I was like, "You know what? Fuck it."
Honestly, biggest biggest advice from a small business, literally, sometimes you just gotta say, "Fuck it, full send, see what happens,"
I
and that's how I started my business.
and I told my husband it was funny because 'cause I'm like, "This is one of those opportunities that's knocking, and I'm going to do it and come out of it and be like, 'That was so fucking great. I had such a good time. It was awesome, and if I don't do it, I'm gonna regret it.'" This is one of those things, isn't it? And he goes, "Yep." And I was like,
You're like, "Shit," the fact that you recognized it was good, because again, it could've been the opposite, and then you'd be sitting there wondering, like, "What could I have done?"
"Oh my
type
god,"
deal.
or, like,
Yeah.
gone and visited and been like, "Oh,
And my thinking
just
too
lifted
is,
my
yes,
mood."
you are leaving your baby, but your baby is at that point, she's not gonna really know, like, she's not gonna be impacted terribly, like, "Mommy's gone."
No,
Like, it's
but
more like
she
my
needs to
food
also
source is gone that I love to look at,
yeah, no,
but it's gonna be
that was
harder, I think, when to say yes to those opportunity when they're, like, 3 or 4 and they actually like, "Mommy, don't leave." Like, the day Dana Marie says, "Mommy, don't leave," you bet your ass I'm gonna take, like, a sabbatical. Cool.
yes, and it's good, I think, to also instill to them that it's okay that mommy takes a break, it's okay that mommy does this thing, and for them to, like, almost get an understanding of, like, mommy's gonna leave sometimes. Mommy's gonna
Yep,
come back. It's
yep,
okay. Because that's the thing is I would hate like, I feel like it would be more traumatic if it was, like, with you constantly, constantly, constantly
constantly.
for years and years and years and years and years, and then all of a sudden you're gone all weekend for a weekend, and it's like, "Wait, what?"
Well, right when I had Danny, it was like, "I want Isabella around, I want my dad around, I want David's family around as much as possible, so she got used to their faces, so when they do have her, she's not upset at them or, like, me being gone, she's upset
Bingo.
because she just wants fucking food or go to bed.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why, like, I'll drop her off at my mom's place just to if I just need to go to the grocery store, because it's
Mhm.
easier for me and there's another win-win where it's like, okay, she's getting used to being going to their house, she's getting used to being taken care of by them. I'm able to go to the grocery store in peace and not have to worry about her. It's a win-win, and I think that when you have the support, though, that we do, it makes it a lot easier,
Yes.
though, too. People want to take them, they want to babysit them, they want to see them. There's even like today where I had to reschedule a haircut and I texted my mom and I was like, "Hey, this is when I'm gonna have my haircuts rescheduled, but it's at this time, so I think that Casey's gonna be able to just, maybe take off early, like maybe a few minutes. Unless you really want to see her, I can drop her off." She's like, "Well, duh, I always want to see her." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll drop her off. Not a problem." So I think that having these people and the other one too is I think it's good to and this is a whole thing, but nursing is great. Breastfeeding is great, but I also think it's important to get them used to a bottle from
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yes, and I would say from, like, the hospital, start if you can, do bottles, like, even practicing, do, like, the same nipple or anything like that just to get them familiar with it because it's nice to have options in case that becomes your only option.
Yes. Well, and also, like, I think it's just good for them also into, like, transition too. But I don't really nurse her that much anymore. We breastfeed, but I pump and then she gets it in a bottle a lot of the times. But I've been trying to the last couple weeks incorporate a lot more nursing because it's important obviously for them to for the milk to change with the backwash and all of that. But I think that the bottle is an important thing. And it's good to have options, right? It's good to
Yes,
have
it's
options. It's
great to
good
have
to have
options.
variety.
So, based off of what we talked about today, Anna, what tools or advice would you recommend to those not necessarily neglecting their small business, but those who feel like they're neglecting their small business?
Honestly, I don't know. And I'm going to say I don't know because I'm still struggling with it. And I
Same.
think that carving out a little time here and there relieves some of the guilt, but I'm still trying to figure it out. On this topic, I don't have much advice. In fact, if you guys have advice for us, put it in the
Email
comments
us.
because
Yeah, put it in this
email
comments.
us at monicopodcast@gmail.com because this is something that I'm currently struggling with. And I think you said you were too. So I
I'm
think this is
always
something I
struggling.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I guess carve out some time, but that's hard because then you feel guilty for carving out the time when you're up here working like, up here I'm working up here, and I feel bad. We're doing this podcast, and I feel fucking guilty, but there's no need to because my
Girl,
husband's like,
same.
"Do it, it's right?" Yeah. So I don't if you have thoughts, advice, comments, put them below because yeah.
I would say I'd steal from what you said. Give yourself grace. It's hard to give yourself grace. But like, especially if you had a human or things are a factor or you are doing your darnest best, like your job's getting in the way if you don't have kiddos, you are just trying to live life while running a small business. You're just getting started. Give yourself grace. There's a reason there's so many hours in the day. It's because you're filling them and there's not enough time. And yes, having a small business, you do have to pour everything into it, but you also deserve a break too. Well, kind of like what Anna was saying, you kind of need to carve out time. I think for me, with the shows currently, the best method I've found to take out time for my small business is kind of make some sacrifices in other areas. So once Dana Marie goes to
Yeah.
sleep, I do carve out time. Would I love to be spending it with my husband? Yes. But do I need to paint at least 12 pieces tonight? Also, yes. So it's kind of making those sacrifices, communicating with your loved ones too of like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I need to make this a priority." Like this week, I told David, I'm like, "I'm not gonna be able to clean the house. I'm not gonna be able to do such and such. If you could help out, that'd be great. If not, that's okay. Baby's number one priority, but I also need to make my number two priority my small business." So I kind of treat my small business like bath night, if that makes sense. And I learned this from my coworker. She's like, "We give baths on Sunday and Wednesdays." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's so much easier than like every 2 or 3 days. If you tell me a day, I can do it." So now I'm like, we do paint nights every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like I try to do 2 sets on Tuesdays and Thursdays to have ready to go so I can load the kiln constantly for my small business. But if you can figure
Yeah.
out a schedule, that's probably your best route of like between all these an order of priority. Like what's like your biggest stressor down to your least stressor. If that's like your least stressor is like cleaning the toilet, make that a low
Yeah.
priority thing. You can definitely clean your toilet another day.
Your priorities
I
can
have these
shift on the daily too.
they can change on the daily and that's okay. But if you're like, I have to take care of baby, obviously that's number one. But if you also have a significant other, sometimes that's two or three. But you know what? They are self sufficient, so they can go down the list. Though it's hard, they understand, especially if they're supportive. They understand. So just kind of making the order of priorities. And I think what's been helping me is honestly to take 2 to 5 minutes out of my day and write out a list of what are my priorities? What do I need to do? And I do section them out kind of like how we've talked about. There's 3 sections. There's baby, home life, work life. So I have to section them out in my lists of like, this is priority at work. This is my priority for my child. This is my priority in my home. And just writing that down helps me immensely. Do I get all of it done? No. But
No.
do I feel better after at least listing my concerns? 100%. And then I'm able to delegate. And I think that's my biggest struggle since becoming a mother and always being a small business owner is delegating tasks towards my husband. I'm like, he is equally as much as part of this family unit as I am, and he's okay to do it. Like we've talked about, I think in the beef debrief, he's just a whiteboard, blank space. We can fill it with some things. He doesn't mind. And if he complains, well, we just remind him who runs the
We
show.
just remind you're
Mom.
part of well, no. Well, you do. Your house. So I ain't training.
You run the show, girl. You run the show. He would be lost without you.
Don't tell anybody that.
Yeah, it's a secret, everybody. Shh, they don't know.
It is.
My
He
husband
doesn't
definitely
even.
knows.
Oh no, it's pretty. I'd like to think it's pretty. It's pretty. I'm nice to my husband.
You are so freaking nice. I'm like, sometimes I leave Hannah's house. I'm like, damn, I could be a nicer wife. And then I'm like, but I'm also married to somebody like Anna.
He is true.
So
Shit.
that's our advice to you all. Do with it what you will. But honestly, like Anna said, if you have feedback or this resonated with you, or if you have advice, we're totally open ears to. Do we know everything? No. Are we struggling as well? Yes. So feel free to
Yes.
email us at momcopodcast@gmail.com. Visit our website, momcopodcast.com. Feel free to like this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a great review. That's how other people are able to hear our meanderings of motherhood and small business
Find us.
life. If you get bored and need more friends or a community, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're happy to be your friend and be in your corner, and you're welcome to DM us anytime. And that's episode 11. What do you think, Anna?
That's good.
Yay! Bye, everybody.
Yay!
Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.